So tonight is implementing AI into your business. And who here has a smartphone? Who here has a stupid phone? Okay, so you got a smartphone, right? Okay, I'm gonna pick on a couple people here. Hello. So who here had a BlackBerry back in the day? Remember a BlackBerry? It was like a smartphone but with buttons. Okay, and who here had a flip phone? Who remembered when the flip phone first happened? It was like revolutionary. Wow, it folds in half and it goes in your pocket. StarTAC 2 Lite, you know, those things back in the day. All right, who here remembers, and the more I ask these questions, the more the gray hairs are going to raise their hand. Who here remembers when texting first came out? It was like 25 cents per text. If somebody texted you and they texted back, that was 25 cents for you, 25 cents for them. It was crazy, right, when texting first came out? Who remembers that? Okay. Who here can tell me what 999337777 means in text? No. So back in the day when you didn't have all the letters, if I wanted to text somebody, you know how the number 1 was ABC, the number 2 was DEF, the number 3. So you would have to text like that. So if he said, oh, hey, Tony, quick, let me know if you're coming to the birthday party. I got to hang up. Click. And I wanted to text him. I would dial 999337777, and he would get yes on his phone. Or he would see 999337777, and that's how you would text back and forth. Does nobody remember that? Nobody did that? Okay. Who here remembers when you could first save a contact to a phone? Okay, all right. I must have been revolutionarily cutting-edge nerd back in the 90s. I remember when I got my first cell phone, and I brought it to work, and I was like one of 300 people to have the first cell phone at work, and it started ringing, and my boss is like, you can't have that at work, and he turned it off. I'm like, I don't know how to turn it off. I don't even know how to nothing. And he took it away from me and turned it off. I was like 18. I don't even remember who was calling me at that time. But I remember when the first phone came out that you could save names and phone numbers to. You could save up to 10 contacts in your phone. First name, last name, one phone number. That was revolutionary, cutting-edge technology for its time. We're going to go before that. Who here ever had a pager? The beepers? Who had the colored pagers? The blue ones, pink, green. They were all really cool when they came out. I used to sell those. Who remembers the first push-button phones when they came out? You know, before that it was always... Okay, so I remember I had both. Like, Tony, how old are you? Older next week. And so who remembers, though, the transition from the rotary to the push-button phones? Part of that also had to do with if you were one of the rich families or not. Who remembers the first cordless phones? The big thing, and you pulled the thing out. And it was really cool because you could walk through your neighborhood, and I don't know, I just told Janet that. And you could hear all your neighbors' phone conversations as you walked through the neighborhood. Did anybody do that with their cordless? Shame on you. Okay. It was great. Usually it was just some teenage girl talking to her friend endlessly for hours, and I was a teenager too, so it wasn't weird. If I did it now, it's illegal. Who remembers the first time you had to dial an area code? Like, you always called your friends, dun, 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 dun. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, what? I got to dial like an area code now? The numbers are so long. Okay, so I'm using that. Who here thinks that the smartphone in your pocket is infinitely better than all of those things, right? Way better. And who would here think that if I showed up to the person who's still... Now, my wife, she was in a little smaller backwoods community in Minnesota. She's not that old. She remembers that when you picked up the phone, you would hear the neighbors talking. Like, the neighborhood had to... Like, it wasn't the dial tone you would hear. You'd have to... and then talk to an operator, hey, can I call Nancy or my Uncle Bob? Oh, hi, and they would know, and you could actually pick up and listen to your neighbors all having conversations. It was those party lines or whatever they would call them, yeah. So that used to be the thing, a phone number was 3 digits long, within your area code. So she remembers that. But today, what we have in our pocket, if you went back to that time, you're going to have a cell phone. It's going to be small. It's not going to be connected by a wire. You could just talk to it. Call my friend Mark, and it will. And show him a picture of me right now. We're going to video. And, it's so unfathomable back then, compared to what we have now. And I gave this example a while ago with my grandmother, who's 92, and her brother, my great uncle in Canada. We were having a birthday party at the house, and we're like, let's get Uncle Tony on the phone. No, let's get him on the Zoom thing. So we had a TV like this on the wall, and we set it up, and we called. And we're talking, and they're talking. We're talking back and forth. Their big party at their house, I think it was Easter or something. It was talking to our big Easter party at our house, and my grandma was just standing there. No blinking, nothing, just staring. And then I finally yeah, what is it? She just looks at me and leans. It's just like the Jetsons. It was to her. That's what she saw as a cartoon in the 50s, what the future will be like. It's just like the Jetsons. Well, it is. What was crazy imaginary technology then is now. It's real. I am a Star Trek nerd. I've always been a Star Trek nerd since I was a little kid. We finally have computers that are catching up to the Star Trek computers. Computer, where's Steve? Steve is located on deck 4. Well, now I can be like, where's my kids? I push a button. It shows them all on the map, where they're at, what they're doing, how fast they're moving, who they're with. We're slowly getting there, but which reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. They had interviewed Gene Roddenberry, who was the writer of all the Star Trek, and they said, what is your biggest challenge lately? And he said, the biggest challenge we have is staying ahead of reality, because we'll make up something in the show and write it, and shortly thereafter, people are inventing it. Like the flip phone was the Star Trek tricorder. The pads that they had are iPads. We haven't figured out how to teleport people yet. Otherwise, they'd just be appearing here. But there is that. So even God said in the Bible, back in Genesis, nothing that they imagine will be impossible for them. And that was just referring to construction. So, imagine now with technology and everything else. So when we hear AI, artificial intelligence, for a lot of us, we hear, I can use that for my business, right? And for some of us, it's kind of like if I took an iPhone, right? I'm not going to take yours, but if I took an iPhone and I showed up in the middle of some far distant, remote mud hut village in Africa where people are still hunting with spears and wearing loincloths. It's true if I told them, this is going to change your whole life, and I gave them an iPhone. What do you even do with it? How can you even fathom, what can you even do? Well, okay, here's what you can do. Let me show you. Push this button here, right? Okay, look, there's a map. Look, it'll show you where water is close by. Well, that would change a villager's life. Or here, if you, there's just, let's see, running water. What could you even do with it? Maps. Oh, here, take a picture of this thing before you eat it. It'll tell you if it's a poisonous plant or not. But if you handed an iPhone to some Amazon jungle person, they're not going to know what to do with it. It's so incredibly powerful in the endless things it can do, but if we don't know what to do with it, we can't do anything with it. And so AI right now is kind of like that. It's growing so fast. I just remembered it's only 8 months ago that we had a commencement speech delivered by digital babies on a screen. And that was cutting edge then. Look, we can make babies talk. We're so far past talking babies now that now we don't even know if anything we're seeing on the internet is real. And so it's expanding so fast that even basic things that super smart people like Dan would consider, Tony, that's baby's play. Well, to us, it's life-changing, revolutionary, like an iPhone in a village. We know Who here is in business? Raise your hand if you're in business or you own a business. Okay, who's the rock star employee at their place of work? Okay, well, we know that AI is out there now. There's no denying it. It's there. It's going to replace jobs. It's going to program robots. It's going to take over everything. Okay, well, maybe, but not today. But it is a thing that is going to dramatically, if we use it, change how we do business and what we do in business. But most of us still have no idea, including me, what to even do with it and how do I start using this. When people come to me with a business problem, I always ask them, well, what would you do? Or they come up with some fantastical idea. I'm like, is this going to make me money tomorrow? Like, okay, let's cut all the nonsense over here. We're in business to make money. I don't need a new logo again. Is this going to get me a sale? How could this get me a sale? Is this going to help me make money tomorrow? And not that you filter everything through that, but if you've ever worked with a marketing agency, you hired a hotshot marketing agency, they come in, they want to charge you endless money, and the first thing they always, we got to redesign your website. No, you don't. Having a cool website is not my problem. People not coming to my website at all is my problem. How do I get that? Let's get them to come to a crappy website first, and when I have a lot of people at it, then we'll figure out how to make it better. I'm not going to drop 20 grand every 2 years on a new website. That's not the problem. And so, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. But the big thing is we have to have an idea. Like most of us have no idea what AI possibilities and solutions are there. And even if we did, how could we even practically apply them into our current business that we're doing now? Like not everybody's going to quit paving and start an IT AI software development company, unless you are, Steve. But I'm not. And so we, with that, a lot of, when we hear that word AI and artificial intelligence, we keep thinking, the future, the movies, the robots, the thing, and it can get pretty crazy. I mean, there's amazing things that it can do, but a lot of us have already been living with aspects of AI without really thinking of it as that. Like we hear AI and we're like, we immediately picture Star Trek computer, but the reality is we've been using it. Who's here, car? If you're driving down the highway and you start to drift a little, it goes beep, 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 and tells you to get back in your lane. Or worse, it puts you back in your lane. I hate that. Okay, who here has ever made a phone call and you call, hello, and thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us. Please press 1 if you would like to. That's a version of AI that you're using. You've been using it. When you put your stuff in the microwave and you push the defrost button, how does it know how long and when your thing is frosted out and to turn it off? That's AI. Very simple, rudimentary AI built in. Your Roomba, vacuum cleaning your house. Your online banking alert. Ooh, I got 2 cents left in my account. Thanks, Wells Fargo. Nobody at Wells Fargo is looking at your account for you. That's an AI. That's a computer that has been programmed. Hey, when it gets down to here, send me a text. If you've ever had to photo deposit a check on your phone, who here has done that? Turn it sideways. Please have a darker background. It's on a black surface. How can it be darker? I literally have a black book. I put it on there. It always says, you need a darker background. But how can that thing know? I mean, people are sloppy when they write checks, yet it figures out I've typed in the wrong amount of the deposit. It's like, no, that's not what the check said. And you're like, oh, it's rot. I switched those 2 numbers. That's an AI. These are AIs that we actually are using every day. Who here ever plays chess on a computer? Against the computer? That's an AI. The computer's beating you. You put your clothes in the washing machine, but you don't fill it up all the way, and you just push the auto wash thing, and it knows. It senses how much water to put in and what kind, and does the whole thing, and knows if it needs another rinse. That's AI. When you drive across a time zone and your iPhone changes to the correct time, AI. When you're typing a note to your friend and autocorrect fixes all the spelling and fixes all the grammar, that's AI. When you're driving in GPS and then all of a sudden there's a tipped over dump truck in the middle of the road, so it routes you around it automatically. That's AI. That's a computer going, oh wait, that's blocked, so now we have to this, and if they that, then we this. And it's literally the same technology, just hyper steroided, right? It's not like we're into some new thing none of us has ever experienced. It's just advanced so fast, none of us have experienced the new stuff yet. So now it is getting better, but AI is essentially one thing. Computer people might yell at me, Danny, tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, it comes down to two commands. If this, then you do that. Oh, if the car gets too close here, then you beep. Oh, okay. If you get an email from Target, again, then you put it in the spam folder. That's AI. All it is if then, just extremely more complicated. If you get a new sign up on your website, then you add them to this database, you put them in here, you put them for a schedule here, you send them this welcome email, and you send a copy of the email to IT, and you send a copy of the email to customer service, and then 2 days later, customer service is going to send a follow-up email over here, and then 3 days later, it's going to send a text to them. It's a much more complicated then, right? But it's still essentially if, then. And so really, when you think about it, that's all AI is. It's not actually smart. It's just an infinite amount of if, then, if, then, if, then. So if you press 1 for English, then it goes to English. Then if you press this, it goes to there. If I tell this AI soft platform, hey, I'm giving you a PDF, tell me if I'm making money. All it's going to do is go in there. If that's positive, then that's not. And if this is positive, then that's not. And if this is negative, then go over here. And if then, if then, if then, if then, if then. Yes, Tony, you're going to be rich. Whatever it spits out, or you're making 8% per year profit margin. It's not like it's actually smart. It's just a massive combination of if then, if then, if then, like a rats in 1,000 mazes. So, quick background. I'm a business person. I'm speaking from business experience. I own a number of businesses. And I'm also a teacher, so my gift that God gave me is taking extremely complicated things and breaking them down to simple. And I have to, not because I'm smart, I need it simple in order to do it. So we keep hearing now about all the wonderful things AI can do. Oh, it can build you websites, it can do books, it can be your accountant, it can answer phones for you, it can call people for you now. You can make talking babies, you can write songs. Now we're hearing Elon Musk is going to have like floating satellite servers of AI processing centers up in space. Which is actually brilliant when you think about it. He's already got a bazillion satellites up there, so you just add a computer to each one with AI processors, and you have infinite free solar energy with no clouds. It's the ultimate solution to the cooling problems, the energy problems, the electricity, the whole thing. But when you look at all that, you're like, great! What do I do in my landscaping business? You know, the satellites floating around space are great. What do I do in my painting company? How is AI going to help me clean a car? How do I grow my business? And so that's what this class is. This KBF tonight is a practical rip down of AI and how can I even apply this into my business, right? Not quit my whole life and go start a new whole thing. How can I apply AI and the wonderful advancements that it's had into my current business? So to do that, I like to begin with the basics. And we've taught this many times in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some basic business structures, right? Then after that, we're going to talk about how AI might apply to each of those areas of your business. And if you don't have a business yet, awesome. This is the best thing ever because now you can actually structure your business properly starting out. So every business has 6 basic divisions, and I've added a 7th. Every business has management. Management is the steering of the ship. Management is your planning, your scheduling, your organizational systems, supervision, who's in charge, legal compliance, make sure you're not breaking any laws. So you have management, right? Management of this is managing the company. And this is why we record these, so you don't have to scribble furiously fast notes. You can go back and play it in slow motion. So we have management, marketing. Marketing is the getting the word out of your business. So research, analysis, the markets, your branding, colors, logos, themes, marketing materials, whatever those are, business cards, brochures, hats, T-shirts, billboards, blimps, your website, digital marketing, so your ads, your website, your social medias, offline marketing, which is all the stuff that's not on a computer. The guy at the end of your driveway flipping a sign, come on in, puppies, we have puppies, or whatever it is. Events, seminars, home shows, trade shows, all the things that have to do with letting people know about you, that's marketing. So you have management, marketing. Well, after everybody knows about you, you need the third one, which is sales. I would say sales is get the money. Repeat after me, get the money. Okay. My Jewish partner always said that, get the money. So in that, sales, well, what is sales, right? Sales is the sales processes and procedures. So Brock, you sell trips to biblical tours of the Holy Land, right? So you know how that works. You manage that business. You know how to get the word out. Hey, everybody, this is what I do. Now, if I said, I want to go, that's where sales kicks in. Sales, okay, what do you do? How do you get my money? Where do I sign? What contract is there? What disclaimer is there if I get stoned by Hamas? So all that's going to be in sales. Sales processes, procedures, if you have salesmen, training them, sales goals, how to close the sale, how you transact the sale. Is it a deposit and the rest later? How does the money work? What's your refund? All that stuff. Customer service falls under sales. And follow-up would fall under sales. So you have management, marketing, getting the word out, sales, closing the deal, production. Now you have to do the thing you said. So if you're doing wedding photography, you actually have to go there and take pictures. If you're painting houses, you have to go there and paint. If you're making shoes, you got to go make shoes. So production, there's all these things in production. There's product development. Right? Okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? Purchasing, where's the materials? How do we find them? We got to procure them. How often do we order? How long do they take? Where do we put them? Warehousing, inventory. If somebody does order something, how do we get it to them? Shipping, distribution. If it's a service business and we promised to paint, how do we do that? Who's going to go do it? Where's the ladder? All that stuff falls under production, service work completion, quality control falls under production, and warranty. All that's under production. If you're a pizza restaurant, it all applies to you. If you're an accounting firm, that all applies to you. Production is the doing the thing that you said you would do. So management, marketing, getting the word out, sales, closing the deal, production, doing the thing you said you would do, finance, everyone's favorite part. So now you did it, and you got the money. Now what? This is where finance comes in. Finance is accounts payable. What bills do I got to go pay? What invoices? All of that. Accounts receivable. Who owes me money still? Go get it. Income and expense record keeping, your bookkeeping, tax compliance, reporting. For some people, it's every quarter, every month. Disney has to report their taxes every single day to the Florida Department of Revenue. I only have to do it every month. And one of my businesses only has to do it every quarter. Some businesses only have to report once a year. So it just depends. But all that falls under finance. One of my businesses is a bookkeeping accounting firm. And when I take on a new client, I give them a very simple set of instructions. You will give me everything in your life that has a dollar sign in front of it. What? If it has a dollar sign in front of it, I need it. T-Mobile bill, I need it. Your Zelle, I need it. Your Cash App, Venmo, I need it. Your PayPal, I need it. I only got 2 bank accounts. Lies. You have 6 you don't even know about. And you go through. Well, there it all is. No, what about your wife's 2 credit cards? You're spending business stuff. You had her pay for this. Oh, yeah, that's right. So then you get it all together. All of a sudden, even somebody with a simple life doesn't realize they have 12 accounts that have to be managed. But finance is anything in your life with a dollar sign on it, or in your business. If it has a dollar sign on it, it's held under finance. Human resources. So management, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Marketing, getting the word out. Sales, closing the deal. Production, doing it. Finance, handling all the money after you've done it. Then the next thing is human resources. When you can't do it all by yourself anymore. So you need to hire people to come in and do it. So human resources includes recruiting people, job notices, hiring people, firing people, selecting how you're going to hire them if you do hire them, your payroll processing, every week or every 2 weeks or however, how you're going to handle their timesheets. Do they clock in on an app, their hours? Do they, all of that falls under human resources. Do they get benefits? How is that calculated? Retirement, pensions, healthcare, employee training, safety. You can't climb the 20-foot ladder in flip-flops and paint in front of OSHA. You've never done that, Paul. Employee training and safety, and then government compliance. There's rules on how you have to treat your employees. HR! That's where that comes from, human resources. So that's your human resources. Those are the 6 divisions: management, marketing, sales, production, finance, and human resources. I added the 7th one because it's not on any official list. I put IT, information technology. The book that I had first read way back in the day, Brian Tracy, and he stole it from somebody else, on these 6 divisions, there was no IT back then. An IBM computer fit the size of this room. So not many people had IT issues, but now everybody does. I had an IT issue this morning. It took me an hour to figure out how to get my scanner to work in my office. It sometimes does and it sometimes doesn't. And then you have to divorce it and then remarry it and all of this. And I was determined, I'm not calling IT. They're $189 an hour. I'm figuring this out. And we did. It's amazing how turn it off and turn it back on really works. Anyway, that's where we were. Turn it off, turn off everything, start it up again, shut down the servers, turn them back on, and it all worked. Anyway, so IT is information technology. That is your software selections in your business and implementing. Are we going to use QuickBooks, or are we going to use this other accounting software over there? Are we going to use this way of keeping track of everybody's time, this app? Anything that has to do with technology. Where are we saving all this? What kind of server do we use? Do we save it in the cloud? Do we save it over here? Do we back it up to hard drives? How does the printer work? Can I print on it? And then are we saving this information properly? Can some random hacker get in and get all of my customers' and employees' credit card data? No, there's rules on how that goes. So IT, I'm adding as the 7th category, and that one kind of sprinkles into all the other ones. Well, in a business, and again, who here has a business that they own? Okay. So in a business coach that I had hired, just like if you really want to get fit, you're going to hire a fitness coach or a diet coach, or you're going to be incredibly determined and motivated. I had a business coach for a while to help with a very specific task in my businesses, and that was conforming them all under one umbrella to operate more efficiently, and we did this. It took several years. But he introduced this to me, and I want to give him credit. His name is Ford Kais. He's retired now. But he used to say this. Okay, who here has a business? Who here would love to double their business? And I'm asking you guys that. Who here would love to double the business? Okay. So he goes, these are the ways that you can double your business. You could work twice as hard. Well, I'm kind of working hard now. Paul, can you work twice as hard as you are now? Okay. If you can, you should. But can you? You can't. Okay. So that's not the answer. You could work twice as fast. If you worked twice as fast, you could double your business. That's not realistic, but some people could. You could work twice as long on it. So whatever hours you're now, just double it. If you just work twice as long, you will double the size of your business. No. I could double my prices. That actually kind of works sometimes. But generally speaking, no, that's not how you're going to double your business. So according to those answers, it is impossible for any business to double in size. Is that true? No, because we see businesses double in size all the time. But the way that they double in size is they make a whole bunch of minute adjustments. It's like that old kind of thing that they would do with us as kids in school. Would you rather get $100 a day for a month, or I'll give you 1 penny on the first day, 2 pennies on the second day, 4 pennies on the third day, 8 pennies on the next day, then 16 pennies the next day, then 32. And all the kids are like, I want $100 a day. And you do the math, that's only $3,000. You do the penny thing for a month, you're in the millions. Millions. So it just takes a little bit, just little tweaks. And so in business, and we would do the practical exercise, he would say, okay, Tony, if you look at all of your advertising and you're getting this many people emailing you and contacting you and everything, if you just improve that by a little bit, just 10%, just 10% more clicks and phone calls and whatever it is that's happening, just improve it by 10%. Okay, but I still haven't doubled my company yet. Okay, great. Well, let's just do that. Now, when you talk to those people and you get some of them to be your customers, how many customers did you get last month? 30. Okay, great. Can we improve that number by 10%? Well, yeah, that's just 3 more customers than I normally get. How would you do that? I'll comb my hair next time and eat a mint. I mean, who knows what it's going to be, but it's not that hard to get 1 extra customer every week and a half. You could read a book, How to Get More Customers. Now you could ask AI, how can I get more customers? It'll give you 1,000 ways to be a better salesperson. Okay, well, that's still not doubling the size of my company. 10% here, 10% there. Okay, well, let's talk about your price. How much is your thing? $400. Okay. Could you raise the price of that 10%? $440? Now, I told my IT guy this. He owns an IT company. He was struggling. I'm like, his name is Billy. I love you, Billy. Still, that's why I'm with you for 16 years. But you shouldn't have done this to me, Billy. Okay, so I went to him, and I said, and I showed him this whole thing. I'm like, no, just raise your price. No, Tony, I have to be competitive. Raise it $10. You're $89 an hour. $99 an hour is not going to chase. You think they're really going to stop and go get a whole new IT guy to relearn everything? No, they're not. And so he did. That's when he was $89 an hour. He's $189 an hour now. He realized this works. Let's bump it up. And every year he'd bump it up some more. And I'm paying $189. I should still be at the $89 price as a thank you. But he's doing great. You drive by his place. He's got a building. He's got all these trucks all wrapped with his logos. He's got a bunch of people that work for him. He has big, huge clients like hospitals, and he's really grown his business by 10% tweak, 10% tweak. Let's up the price a little bit here. And so could you change whatever, again, who has businesses here? And what's your average sale? Probably $4,000. Okay, your average customer pays you $4,000 for each time. Would they hate you forever on your next quote if you had it be $43.99 or $4,400? Would you lose the job? Probably not. Okay, and if somebody did, they're probably the customer you didn't want anyway. They're the one that's going to be bothering you and whining and giving you the 2-star Google review because you didn't answer at 11 p.m. on Saturday. Okay, so in that, but the principle was you just make a little adjustment in your marketing, a little adjustment in how good you close your sales, a little tiny adjustment on your price. How many of your customers are repeat customers, Paul? Do you get a lot of repeat customers? After a few years, you paint something for them, and then they call you, and they need another thing painted, and then they call you, and they need another thing. So if you could just tweak on how often you get your customer to call you back, just a little tiny bit, 10%. Well, what he did, he actually made us do this with real numbers, our actual numbers. Here's how many leads I actually have. Here's how many times we actually close. Here's our actual average sale. Here's our actual repeat customer. Here's our actual profit margin. That was the other one. Okay, your profit margin. We all have costs in our business. Brock, your costs are probably buying airline tickets and cruise tickets and all these other kind of things when people want to travel. Do you think if you tried really hard, you could get some of those costs down a little, 5, 10%? Shop just a little extra hard? Don't admit it, but you could, right? All of us in here could probably get the price down a little tiny bit. When we did the exercise, at the end of the exercise, we had doubled our business and how much money we made. We didn't work twice as hard. We didn't work twice as long. We didn't work twice as fast. We didn't twice anything. We just tweaked a little here, tweaked a little there, and we did it, and all of a sudden, our gross profit at the end of the year was doubled. And we didn't even double how much work we did. So in that, when you look at that, making those small improvements in each of those areas of business makes a huge improvement at the end in doubling it. Now, nobody can be perfect at everything. Jesus can. But other than that, Nobody can be perfect at everything, right? So I'm the best manager in the whole world. I'm the best marketing person in the whole world. I am the absolute best person in sales in the state of Florida. I am the whiz of all finance gurus in my financial department. I have the best HR. Everyone wants to work for me. And that's not true. Even you as a business owner cannot be the best at all the things. Management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources. We think we are. If you owned a pizza restaurant, I mean, you manage it the best, you market it the best, you sales it the best. Nobody can flip the dough as good as you, no matter how good you hire them. You're spreading the sauce wrong. There's something in every business, but you're never going to be the best at all the things, right? And so in that, what my business coach had told me was, Tony, it's time to let go of some stuff. Well, what? What do you need help in? I'm frazzled. I'm working 18 hours a day, 9 days a week. I'm pre-working. I've already used my vacation 4 years from now. I'm working. We're doing everything we can, and it's all happening, and I can't do any more. Let alone learn AI now. I got to be a super nerd on top of it. It's not going to happen. And so in that, he would take us through this exercise. On the positive side, what are you super good at? What do you make the most money at? That. But then he also jumped to the negative side. What in your business that you do takes the most time of yours? Not your employees' time. Who cares? Let them get all the time they want. What is taking the most of your time in your business? Most people don't know. So when we would coach businesses and business owners, we would say, okay, first thing you're going to do is you are going to take this diary as if you're a new employee, and you're going to document every minute of your day. What? No, you work for me now. I'm your coach. This is what we're doing. You're going to get up in the morning. Got up at 9, drove to the office at 9:30, took phone calls till 10:30. I had to monitor my social media from 10:30 till noon. No, you didn't. You were scrolling on Instagram for an hour and a half. I was market researching. You were not. Okay, and then I had to go to lunch with a client for 3 hours. The same client you always go with who still hasn't bought from you? Okay, so, but you would document the day out. You would be surprised as a business owner if you actually sat down and documented your days just for 1 week and see where your time actually goes. Then, okay, so you have that, right? What do you hate doing the most in your business? There is something you hate. Is it the management? Is it the marketing? Is it the production? Is it the finances? Is it the human resources? Is it the painting? I hate painting. I loathe painting. I like spray painting because it smells nice, but I hate painting. I hate drips. I hate getting into my clothes. I'm not a painter. Now, I have a company that does paints. Like today, we just walked into a job that's being painted, a condo renovation. But I personally hate painting. You will never see me painting. So in your business, what do you hate doing the most? Well, Tony, I don't hate everything because God says don't hate. Okay, fine. What do you dislike doing the most in your business? For a lot of people, it's the books. Oh my God, I hate doing the books and the finances. Great. What else? Other people, they hate dealing with their employees. I like dealing with good employees. I don't like dealing with employees when there's a situation. My brothers who work with me have forbade me. You were never allowed to hire or fire people ever again. Why? Because you hire people to help them and you never fire them regardless of how bad they are. I'm like, I'm helping them. They need life skills. We're not a school. I've heard that more times from my brothers. We are not a school. We're hiring people because they're good at what they do and they're helping us. Now, I still help people, but in that, there's something in your business, management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources, that you hate doing. And coincidentally, the thing that you usually hate doing is usually the thing that also takes you the longest. And then what are you not good at? Like, what are you doing in your business that you're really just not good at? Like, somebody else really should be doing it. Now, as business owners, most of us have this problem. Nobody can do it as good as us. They can't. My brothers and I put it this way. We all own multiple businesses. When we would get mad about an employee, never at them or to them, but we would gripe amongst each other. Oh my God, Fred is doing this again. hold on. This is why he works for us and we don't work for him. So we would constantly remind ourselves when an employee is just like, oh, they're, making a dumb thing. We remind ourselves, this is why they work for us and we don't work for them. This is why they don't make big decisions. They just do what they're told. Now, they're not dumb. It's just that's what they do. And so in that, what in your business are you doing that you're not good at? I know one. I am not good at making websites. Yet somehow, I'm the one that makes the websites for all my businesses. And they all suck. But they're good enough. And that is a real problem. I'm revealing this to myself right now. My daughter could probably make me a better website. But no, I don't want you to mess it up. We'll look dumb in front of our people. In front of our people, nobody goes to the website. So anyway, I'm not good at websites. Maybe it's something else for you. Maybe you're not good at math and you shouldn't be doing your books. Maybe you're really bad at sales. Customers just irritate you and you should not be dealing with them. You hire a nice, bubbly, smiley person to go be the customer service, right? Or maybe you're not good at following up. Who's done that? You give out 45 quotes to customers and you never call them back to see if they actually want it. Or worse, you go do 45 jobs and you never send out the invoices. And you're wondering why you're broke. Or the worst of the worst, you have 45 people that have asked you for quotes and you still haven't quoted it and can't figure out why you have no work. I've done all of these things. Okay, so now, Tony, this doesn't really sound much about AI. Well, in the past and current, you could hire people to do the thing that you're bad at. You could hire people to do the thing that you hate, right? You could hire somebody to do the thing that takes the most time. There's a fourth one in there. It's kind of a positive. They're called, who here knows what a comfort food is? Comfort food? Like, it might be your mom's homemade macaroni and cheese. Nobody is going to, ice cream. Like, my wife, I actually made my wife cry. When we were early married, she was making tuna salad. This was probably 2 months in. She had to live with me. And I said, oh, you're making tuna salad? Great, let me do this. I chopped up some basil and strawberries, and I made like this whole like foo-foo Instagram tuna salad. And she cried. She didn't want it. She wanted tuna, mayonnaise, onion powder, whatever like the most traditional Finlander Lutheran potluck tuna salad that there was. And so that was her comfort food. She needed comfort at that time, not actually tuna, and I even made it more uncomfortable for her. And so in that, newlyweds, take note. Don't mess with your wife's comfort foods. Actually, not even a newlywed thing. Now I still know don't. Yeah. Don't go add some exotic thing to her scalloped potatoes. Curry. The people in business, we have comfort tasks. A comfort task. You're tired. You have a lot of stuff you still have to do. When I get home tonight, I still have like 3 hours in the office of stuff that's written in my book, and I'm going to do it because I want to. But I could also finally organize my paper clips. I want all the big ones here, the black Class B ones here, and the small ones here. And it's really what I want to do right now. And I'm going to turn on my funny show, and I'm going to do that's important. You should have an organized office. That's a comfort task. For other people, one of my other comfort tasks is balancing the books. Other people, that's not their task. Like right now, at this moment, I have about 140 proposals that I have to revise. And I'm going to talk about that. We're actually, that applies to tonight. 140, yes, I had put together, it took 2 years of interior design and board meetings and everything else for this big condo complex. And finally, and it's a hotel on top of it. So we finally got buy-in and everything was good. And now everything was digital renderings. Here's what it's going to look like when it's done. Well, now it's done. The first phase. So now we got to convince all the phase 2, 3, and 4 people to do it, but now we got to change all the proposals to pictures. And guess what? Everything costs different than it did in 2023 when this was put together. Now we have to change them all, 150 proposals. Now, I should do it because it equals immediate money, lots of money. So, Am I going to do that tonight when I get home? Now, also, though, I get in front of my computer, I turn the thing, I go on, I'm like, well, let me just check and see if some of these transactions cleared. And 59 different bank accounts later, everything balances to the penny. That was a comfort task. I love doing that. It made me no money. It didn't help me with anything. There's people in my business that can do that, whose job it actually is, and it should be done when I get home, Eleni. And so it's... But it's a comfort task. We all have a comfort task in your business. I'm going to pick Dan. What's one of your comfort tasks? He's thinking. The thing that you like to do at work that takes the time of things you should be doing at work. You don't have to answer. Everyone has a comfort task, right? A lot of times that can actually be outsourced as well. Hire somebody to do it. But now we talk about the world of AI, right? It used to be that you would have to hire somebody to organize your paper clips specifically, or straighten up the office, or vacuum, that you would have to hire somebody to come in and do your books and these things. And you still probably need human oversight, but there are areas now with AI that can be applied to all the stuff we just talked about. You don't have to apply it to all the stuff, but those little minuscule adjustments. Like if all of a sudden, I'm going to pick on you again, Paul. You have a business. It's going great. It's been going great for years. You want it to do much, much better. If I said, hey, Paul, I can show you a way to free up 3 more hours a week of your personal time, would that mean anything to you? Yeah. And now, all the things that you've been wishing you could do in your business, you suddenly have 3 hours extra to do. Because you get the same hours I get. Whatever that number is, 80 in a week. It depends how hard we work. But there we are, 50 at least. So you have the same 50 hours I have. And I can't stretch that longer. All I can do is get more efficient at it and try to free up more of my time to be able to finally work on my business and apply things instead of doing it all. So in that, this is where AI can kind of jump in. And what I'd like to do is... and I was kind of hoping my friend Troy would be here, but Mark will have to be just as good. Now what we're going to do is, so we talked about management, marketing, sales, production management, finances, human resources, IT. We've talked about all those things. We're going to talk about them again in the same order, all 7 of them. But now we're going to talk about a specific way AI might be able to help in some way in each of those areas in your business, right? So I'm going to pick the first one. And does anybody need to stand up and stretch? Because it is kind of teachery. Bueller. Okay. Anyone seen the movie? Okay. It just wasn't funny. I'm sorry. Okay. My son and I chat. He gets to hear me bounce a lot of these ideas around. And I said, I'm going to teach on AI. He's like, you don't know anything about AI. I'm like, I'm going to learn by Tuesday. The best way to learn is to teach it. That was something my business coach told me. You want to learn anything super good? Go teach it. Go learn. If I said, listen, you're going to teach everybody on how to cultivate corn in Florida next Wednesday, he's going to go learn everything about corn in Florida, and he's probably going to know more than the corn farmers in Florida by Wednesday, and he'll be able to teach. We're not, but that's more of a Pastor Eric thing. So I said, what's the best way to learn about AI? Ask AI. Ask it. It's smart enough to talk now. It lies half the time, but it's still kind of smart, right? So one of the things that I did, for example, I said, okay, I didn't tell it this, but we're talking about what? Management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources. I use Perplexity because it lies the least. And so I went there and I asked it exactly this question. What are some ways I can start and by the way, I'm sorry, the free, I'm not paying nothing for this. This is not like some subscription. I don't pay the $100 or the $10. I'm getting the free until it stops lying forever. I'm not paying a liar. So I put, what are some ways I can start using AI to help me in the daily scheduling and planning areas in my business. That's what management is, right? We said management when we said management, sales, production, finance. Management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources. Management is planning and scheduling, organizational systems, supervision, and legal compliance. So I specifically asked it, what are some ways I can start using AI to help me in the daily scheduling and planning area of my business? Its answer. You can start by using AI in 3 main areas: your calendar, your task list, and your team's time in the field. I'll keep this practical and iPhone friendly. That's nice. I have an iPhone. So here it is. Let AI build your daily schedule. Let an AI planner connect to your existing calendar, and then it even names apps. You can get an app like Morgan. In similar AI planner time block tasks, it says they can roll unfinished tasks forward and highlight items at risk of being late so you know what truly needs attention. Many of these tools support natural language, meaning you can talk to it. Hey, phone, block out 90 minutes for me to finish my estimates tonight when I get home at 9. And it'll block it out in your calendar. Example, in the morning, you approve an AI-generated plan that already balanced phone calls, job site visits, and admin work. Instead of you manually having to think when you're going to do them, it organized them in the most efficient pattern. You know who does this? Daily? Amazon. You know, UPS, the brown UPS trucks, they found statistically that most car crashes and UPS truck crashes happen when turning left, because somebody doesn't stop in some directions. So they actually route the UPS trucks to have the least possible number of left turns. Gonna go here, right, back to the UPS hub. They've eliminated almost all the left turns out of the pattern. Well, a computer can do that way easier than I could with a map and a ruler, and they have to do it times thousands of trucks every single day. They also don't want you dropping a package here, and then going here, and then going here, and then going here, and then going there. I manually, like today, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave my house, gotta go to Bel Air, Largo, Safety Harbor, Pinellas Park, Tampa, stop. So you kind of plan out your day that the most calculate. Well, AI can actually do that for you now. If you use an iPhone calendar, which I still don't, you can put all your stuff in there and say, hey, organize this so it makes sense. And there it is. And it doesn't mean you have to do it, but it did the work for you to look at it and go, oh yeah, I forgot it is Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I forgot to get flowers. I will go. Number 2, it said, use AI to schedule meetings and appointments. Tools like Catch, spelled with a K, let you copy an AI email address into a thread, and it checks your calendar and suggests or books times automatically. It can integrate with Google Calendar, Apple, and Outlook to avoid double bookings, and it even allows buffer time between calls and meetings. Let's see, turn chaos into structure, text. Anyway, it just gave a whole list of all these different things. Do you have to do all these things? No, you don't have to do any of them. What if you did one? Just one of them. One of the ones that I liked were where it has this app that connects to your email, and when somebody emails you, hey, Tony, I need you to come and inspect this thing. Like I got a text from a client saying that while I'm speaking to you right now. They need me to, actually, what does she need me to do? To go look at their sofa sleepers at their hotel. Okay, so in that, there's an app that you can have on your phone that is programmed to automatically respond to that. Hey, it's gonna know if an email comes in asking to schedule an appointment with you, and you can tell the AI, hey, listen, if any emails come in asking to schedule an appointment with me, please check my calendar. I only meet people at my office. I'm not going anywhere. And they have to come to me, and please propose 3 times to them. Well, earlier in the week, I could have said, here's all my times that I'm willing to take appointments today. Or if you have a sales business with estimates, and you got to go do estimates everywhere, you can tell the app very easily, hey, when people click in to schedule an estimate. Please organize it geographically, and you don't even have to talk to each customer. Someone comes in, hey, can you come in and check out my driveway? AI is going to see that and automatically respond. Hello, thank you for your email. Steve is available at Tuesday at 3, Wednesday at 1, or Thursday at 7:30. Please pick your time. And it does, and it'll take that and put it right in your schedule for you. And they're like, there it is. Did that save you any time? Yeah. It didn't maybe save you hours on that one situation, but it saved you probably 10 minutes. 5 minutes? How many 5 minutes? It only takes 5 minutes is, right, to add up to an hour in a day. So it's those incremental adjustments. That was me just asking AI about the management side. Hey, tell me some ways AI can help me with like planning and running my business better. And that was one of the answers. And then part of our management, when I said, hey, management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources, part of management was legal compliance. Like some of parts of our business, we have to be legal, right, about it. So I asked it the question, what are some ways I can use AI to help me maintain legal compliance in my business? I loved this one, by the way. You can use AI in your business to help with legal compliance in at least 6 practical ways, especially around taxes, contracts, human resources, and documentation. None of this replaces an attorney or CPA, but it can make it much easier to stay organized and catch issues. And here was one it said. Use an AI assistant to translate statutes like IRS guidelines and rules and Florida guidelines and turn it into a frequently asked question checklist for you and your business. For example, annual compliance tasks for a Florida LLC. It knows I'm in the hotel business for hotels. So I can ask AI, hey, I'm a hotel business in Florida, one of them. Better yet, let's pick a different one. I'm an accounting, finance, bookkeeping firm in Florida, and I want to be compliant with Florida rules, and I'm not going to read all 9,000 pages of the Florida tax code, summarize it into the 12 things I must never forget. And it will. You must Florida Department of Corporations annual renewal by this deadline. You must do your Florida Department of Revenue tax filings on these quarterly dates. And it'll just tell you, hey, these are the 12 things as a bookkeeping company you better be doing. Great, I didn't have to go read 9,000 pages. Any of you have a business in the second row? You do? What's your business? A barber? Perfect. AI, what are the rules and regulations regarding being a barber in Tampa, Florida, and to summarize it to the top 10 that get broken the most and people get in trouble for, so I never do that. It'll do it. Boom. Do you have your certificate hanging properly and viewable to a health inspector? Do you have all of your things on the proper sanitary liquid? When was the last time it was changed? Have you documented this? Is your insurance up? It's going to give you the top, I just guessed. But it's going to guess. My cousin has a salon, so I had an edge. But it'll tell you those 10 things, so you should go to barber school and learn it all. But, I mean, you either have the talent or you don't. But the compliance side of it, that's a thing that AI could help. Now, how much time did that actually save? And you could even take it a step further. Great. Of these things, pick the ones that I have to do more than once and lay them out in a calendar for me and set me reminders, and it'll do it. I have a reminder that's going to go off tonight at probably 10 p.m., and it's going to say, take out the recycling. That's AI on my phone called iPhone Reminders. Every Tuesday night at 10, take out the recycling, haul the thing to the curb so the garbage guys come too early in the morning and get it. It sounds dumb, but it's a simple little thing, right? And so these are the kind of things. Now, what I want to do, those were just 2 little things that we talked about in the management department. And the main part of this is freeing up your time to do the things that actually make you money. Me trying to read all the codes. I'm opening a coffee shop, one of our businesses. I'm not taking the food health safety management certification. I will never make a cup of coffee in that restaurant. I will taste it. But, Tony, you should learn everything about it. No, I shouldn't. I'm going to hire somebody who knows all about it. And they're going to get their workers and their food healthy, what do you call it? Food safety things, Mark had restaurants. What software am I going to use? Clover, Stripe, Square, Coffee is Us. There's different ones out there. I could ask AI which one's the better than that. I'm asking all my friends, but then do I really care? The girls behind the counter are the ones that are going to have to use the thing every day. Let them pick the one they like, and make it work. So in that, not everything has to be you. You don't have to learn how to use AI to program a whole new CRM for yourself. You could use AI to ask, which is the currently most loved CRM by stupid people? Because I'm a stupid people when it comes to CRM, and I'm not going to go learn how to program a CRM. So for stupid people, which is the easiest, best one to use? And it'll tell you, and you make a choice, and you use that, and it'll integrate. So management, now marketing. Marketing, you can go to school for 8 years, get a doctorate in marketing, and come out, and all of it will be wrong. Because I had a friend who did that. She went to school for 8 years in marketing, came out and said, yeah, everything I learned doesn't really apply in real life. It was all theory. It works if you're at like Coca-Cola, but it doesn't help Bob's Painting or, John's Car Wash. And so she had to relearn the real life aspect of all of it. It's like if you hired a graduate from civil engineering school to come and work on your paving crew, he'd be the worst person. Yeah, exactly. And now get somebody who's shoveled on a farm, you're ready. So in marketing, though, there's a lot where AI, and I'm not good at this at all, but there's people that are. Pastor Eric is really diving into it where he's using AI, and Facebook even has this integrated in for your social media ads. Which ones are working? Which ones aren't? Do people click on the blue ad more or the red ad more? Ooh, they're clicking on the blue ad more. Let's show that one more often. And the computer's doing all of these things. They're using it to write their ads, to make the images and the pictures and the background music and where to put it and when and what time. Branding. I need a new logo. It shouldn't take you more than about 90 seconds now to go to ChatGPT, show them what you have, upload some pictures, make me 10 cool logos that are fit for my company. There they all are, pick one. Seriously, 5 minutes, you will have rebranded your whole company. I need a website. Mark made a website on the way here. In the car, he's on his laptop as we're driving for an hour. I asked him, why are you doing it the hard way? Well, Tony, I want to learn how to do it. Well, I don't want to learn how to do it, so I'm going to hire you. Here's a few $100, make me a website. But in that, there's areas, every area in your business somewhere, you can apply some level of AI to start doing some of the work. And in that, I'm going to ask, design is the easiest one. Brochures, billboards, pictures. You saw all the backgrounds pastors putting on everything. This is probably AI. Sales processes and procedures, goals, training, tracking, commissions, closing. Who here currently uses any kind of automated software or AI in the sales department of their business? All right, what? Come up. People are tired of hearing me talk. I can see it in their eyes. Okay. So tell me about your business. What do you do?
So we have a cyber intelligence.
Oh, wait, hold on. The wire mic has to be on. All right, there we go.
We're good. Okay. I have a cyber intelligence and investigations firm.
Which does what?
Basically, we hunt down bad people on the internet, and we find good and bad things about people on the internet that either people need to know or didn't want to know. Yeah, that and
like Epstein stuff.
Yeah, we could actually do some crazy stuff on that, but that's a different thing.
Yeah. So cyber investigation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now people hire you to do this?
Yes.
Like who would be a typical customer?
So last year we did 81 completely separate case sites. So there's a lot, but to give a few, it's
like the most average person that would hire you.
Someone who has to figure out who did something online. To give you an example, wire fraud. You go to wire money for a house or a construction purchase of materials or something like that. Someone hacks your email, steals the money. We figure out who stole the money, where it went, and all that kind of stuff. Internet defamation, harassment.
People leaving bad reviews on your business even though they've never been to your business.
Yeah, industry sabotage, those types of things. And then we work the opposite side of it as well, which is We do a lot of political opposition vetting to where if you're trying to run for office,
Yep.
you know, you want to be the next mayor of Bel Air or whatever, you might want to know what's out there about you beforehand. So we figure out anything that even the trickiest, worst hacker could find about you.
Okay, so people have to know that you even do this.
Yes.
Okay, so in that, you're going to be doing some marketing out
Yes.
there. And then people are going to somehow see, probably on the internet, an ad of this.
Yes.
And then they're going to click something
Yes.
and get to you. So now, does every click get answered by a live person?
No.
No. Okay, so AI is doing it for
Not
you.
one.
Not
Actually.
one. Not a single? Okay. Is he turned up? Can you guys hear him okay? Okay. Yep. And so I just want to make sure it's recording properly and the Zoom people can hear him because it sounds kind of quiet. Or I'm too loud. Okay, I'm too loud, Maria. Okay. So in that, how does that process work? You don't have to give away the secrets, but like, I'm sorry, and did you build this company
Yes.
from scratch?
From scratch.
Okay, so how are you using AI just specifically in the marketing and sales category?
Okay, so for one, web presence and branding. We rebranded our whole company image a couple years ago, and we actually created different specialty websites. One of them I actually made, I was giving a presentation, and as an example, I built a new website for a new division of the company.
So you have
live
like a
in
website,
front of everyone.
Yeah, so like a
With
website
AI,
for, are people screwing you out of money? It could be one website. Are people leaving bad reviews? WeFixReviews.com could be another website. So you've kind of taken the areas of your business and broken them off into different interests.
Yeah, specialty little niches that we could
Okay.
use for specific marketing campaigns.
Now I'm going to pause you. But thank you. I'm jumping right back to you. I actually just got asked this question today by someone who owns a business similar to yours. They do painting. But they said, we actually remodel kitchens and bathrooms too, and we're building a whole home additions and everything, and we have a license, and I want to change my name to that, but I don't want people to think we just do that. And I'm like, well, so then do two things. Have your so-and-so painting here, and your so-and-so kitchen and bath here, and your so-and-so construction there. So that's kind of what you're doing. Yeah. And then it actually casts the web, because people who want a kitchen remodeled aren't going to hire so-and-so painting to do it, but then somebody just wants something painted. Are you really going to hire a kitchen remodeling company to come and paint your closet or your house? So you've actually just taken your areas and just made them almost look like separate companies.
Yes.
Okay, and how has that helped you?
Exponentially.
How hard was that to do?
Actually, really easy with AI.
Okay.
Because it's all AI done now.
How did that happen?
So, for one, it came down to just having a good understanding of what we were trying to do, having an idea of what we wanted to look like, and then getting good at prompting so that we could figure out and understand what the result is that we wanted on the other end. The website tools that I used for these I actually learned in this room like 6 months ago or so.
At the last AI thing that we
the
did.
same
big
one who was here 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
but the first time he came.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
hint could you give to somebody? Wait, so you learned this in KBF?
The websites parts and some
Yeah,
of those
okay.
things. Well, because he's a marketing guy.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
So I've been using AI for years though, so I kind of had a little bit of a advantage with that. But at the end of the day, he gave out. Can I give like some?
Yeah, please.
So he gave out two really good resources for this. One is Manus.
Yep.
MANUS. The other was Lovable. Right.
No, pause. So Manus is an AI, just like we've all heard of ChatGPT or Meta. Well, Manus is another one. There's a ton of them now. What was the other one?
Lovable.
Lovable, like
Yeah.
a lovable, cuddly.
Yeah, lovable.dev, I think, like
DEV for developer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what it does is it basically uses a ChatGPT type model to where you can either give clear prompts or you can have conversations with it. You can upload images. You can give it examples of websites that you want. So you can say, hey, I want to have a website that does this. Here's two examples of websites. I want it to look exactly like these. I want it to have all the cool moving parts and interactive media and everything else. And by the way, I went over here into, let's say, ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, whatever, and I've already made outlines for all the pages that I want to have in it. They've already been optimized by SEO, search engine optimization, so Google and engines can find you along with AI citations. And then they just go ahead and pump it all in. I look at it, I realize the 30 things that are wrong with it, so I tell it to fix those.
Yep. So there's still human oversight of AI. Yeah.
Human in the loop is absolutely necessary. AI will, you'd be shocked at what it thinks to do. It's like a teenager that you leave home alone when you go on vacation.
Yeah.
It's going to come up with whatever you thought it wouldn't.
You really thought that was a good idea, really? Something in you said to do this, and you thought, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So basically, we would create those, and then in a couple of these cases, we would hire people for consults to help us with the actual marketing process. So a lot of hours relies on SEO marketing. Certain things go in for certain paid ads or direct reach
So
outs.
let's back up to the website thing. So on that, you were using apps,
Yes.
these AI apps to build your website.
Yes.
How long would you say it took to do one?
The first one.
No, the fifth one.
10 minutes.
Okay, pause. So there's a reason I'm bringing this up. I'm older than AI. And so back in the day, I could hire a website guy for about 20 grand. If it's a good website, like, actual professional, that was reasonable. If you were cheap, 5,000. Then came Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India to the mix via the internet. Now you could get a website done for a couple $1,000s and still have to human oversight it and correct it. I will be honest. I will, on purpose, I shouldn't say never, but I'm 99% never, me, Tony, going to do what he did. I won't. I don't want to. I am not going to learn it. I'm not going to figure out how to build a website in 10 minutes. I don't care. I'm going to have him do it. And so now, or Mark builds websites as a job now, in addition to being an evangelist. So in that, what used to cost 20 grand or 5 grand in Pakistan and Bangladesh, he could say, well, Tony, I'll do it for $1,500. Wow, that's a great deal. I don't care that it took him 10 minutes. He loves that it took him 10 minutes with no employees and he got it all done and got to make $1,500. I'm sorry, $1,400 after you take $100 for your time. Profit. But the point is, did I use AI for that? Kind of. Either I'm going to use it, but I'm still receiving the advantage of working with somebody else who does use it. So one of the things, too, that can happen in here, we're like, I am not going to learn management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources, and the 45 different AIs that I'm going to have to connect to them all. And I was watching him write code, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I refuse. I'm not going to work out at a gym, and I'm not doing that. And so it's one of those things that, but it has been an advantage to me that I have now people that I know in my life that I can be like, hey, listen, I really remember all those terrible websites I was talking about at KBF. I need some new ones. And it has to work with Shopify and e-commerce. And it's not going to cost me 20 grand a website anymore because of AI. Either I'm going to learn it or he's going to learn it. But somewhere in there, AI can be plugged into so many different niches in our business that it suddenly starts to free up our time. Either I am going to go sit for 50 hours redoing my Shopify site again, or I'm going to give you, what's 50 hours of my time worth? It's a lot. It is. It is. We figured it out. It's like, it's a ridiculous number. But it's my break-even number. Would make most people cry. I have a lot of employees and expenses. It's not all spent on Ferraris. Yet. My daughter would. Anyway, but the point is, in that, okay, I can spend 50 hours, but then that's 50 hours I'm not selling. I'm not talking to my clients. I'm not closing deals. I'm not thinking of ways to better improve my business. I'm not talking to investors for the other business. I'm not doing, there's so many other things I could be doing that are infinitely more valuable that only I can do, that's sitting around for 50 hours figuring out how to redo my Shopify site. I don't want to sit around for 2 hours to figure out how AI is going to do it. I'm just going to ask Mark or you, can you fix this, please? And there we go. So, but I benefited from AI being somewhere in my business. So now you were going to get onto the next part. So that was on the building the website part, right? And then you were going to start talking about how you've used AI to plug into marketing.
Yeah. So basically, for one, we use it to find and identify niche markets.
Okay.
So we
Example.
For example, the reason I know we did 81 separate types of cases last year is because I took everything that we did and I loaded it into AI and said, categorize everything that we've done. Spit out 81. So then I recategorized them. I put in which ones make the best margins, what our expenses are, everything else. I suck at accounting, by the way, but go ahead.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
So who here, again, has a business that they own? Okay. Who here has, in their business, done things that they thought were going to make them a lot of money, but it didn't? Okay, and then the other thing that you just keep doing and that's boring keeps making you all the money. We made this mistake once up in Minnesota. We started a whole landscape division of our paving company because you end up fixing landscaping a lot when you do paving. But we went overboard with it. Fountains and ponds and walls and retaining walls, and it was great. We had no idea we were bleeding out money faster. It would have been faster to just eat the money. But it looked like we were doing okay because our whole overall business had made money, but we didn't realize we were taking all of our profit and putting it there to decorate people's yards, that we actually weren't making any profit on that whole division. It was sucking money out of the company. But it took a long time to figure that out. We didn't have Excel back in those days. We had the big green book, the paper version of Excel. And in that now, you're saying AI just took all your jobs, put it in, and this, and this are where you made the most money. These are your favorite kind of customers. I did this manually with my cousin with her hair salon. She was trying to grow it. I said, listen, you've got all your customers in a book. Go through and put a black X next to the ones that you hate, that you never, ever want to see them again, ever. You never want them to set foot. We all know who they are. We all have that customer. Jesus, take them. And we just don't want them. Okay. God bless you over there. And so, but we also have customers that we love. They were our favorite customers. So why? I went through the whole exercise with her manually. Who is this? Oh, that's Sharon. How old is Sharon? She's 44. What kind of hair does Sharon have? Ethnic hair. Why did she come in? Oh, she gets extensions. I love her. She drops $450 every time she walks in here. How often does she come in? Every month. Okay, we're going to put a big star by Sharon. Okay. Who's this? That's you. Me? Tony. Oh, she hates cutting my hair. Okay, why? Because it's me, I'm picky. And she hates doing men's hair. Okay, so, all right, we know you like doing women's hair, you don't like doing men's hair, there's super high profit in this. We narrowed it down to one talent that she had. I mean, she's very talented at everything. But her favorite thing that became her catchword that made her all the money she could ever want, I do color correction. What does that mean? When the box you bought at Walmart turns your head a weird color, and you go to the salon to get it fixed, she can fix it. And she can charge as much as she wants. Because when somebody comes in with green hair, they're willing to pay as much as she wants to be pretty again. And so in that, there's an example, but that was done manually. So you're saying you could actually take all your customers, all your jobs, and AI, figure out who likes me most and why and how and who are my best customers and what divisions they are. And it did that in how long?
Maybe 5 minutes.
But you had to give it all the information.
I actually, when we were here for the first time you did the AI course a few months ago, you had just started using ChatGPT, but you rambled off questions quickly that you asked it. So I snagged those questions, and that was actually the basis for what I asked it during this exercise. So I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I don't even remember what I asked.
You had asked about your pool table company and where you would find different customers for it and things like that. So I took each of those niches that we broke out based on the categories that had a good margin that I didn't hate with a passion.
Yep.
And then basically each one of those I put down a separate line of communication, which basically the questions you asked in terms of how to find the right places to find new customers for these outside of what I'm already doing. So we went through those using that.
So you asked, I remember asking that question now, yeah. Where can I find customers that are like this? And I kind of described my perfect customer, and then it came back with like some ideas. I said, give me 100 new ideas for how to find this customer. There they all are. Did I do all 100? No. But what if I did 3? Could 3 have helped? Yes, because it's a minute little adjustment. It's just all these little adjustments. So you did that, and that started helping you now reach out to specific groups of, and I want to jump in. This is way too much to cover in one night, right? But if you're serious about like, no, I'm learning this, like when I'm driving down the road, you can go to kbftampa.com, or you go to YouTube and you type in KBF Tampa, all one word. And if you scroll back, we did a 5-part series on marketing. And AI wasn't in any of it. It was just the raw basics of marketing. Who is my customer? What do they want? Why would they buy it from me? Where are they? How do I get the message to them? Like just basic things that we really broke out and covered. Like you're a barber, right? So you probably get a lot of customers word of mouth. You probably get some customers because they see the barber thing. Do you have a shop? Okay, yeah, cool. So in that, how do you get more people to come to your shop? Well, I'm sure somebody has knocked on your door and said, hey, we got this neighborhood newspaper, and for $1,000, you can be on it. And then you pay the $1,000, and you never get a single customer in, but you see piles of these newspapers outside of every gas station just sitting there in the rain, and you realize, what a waste of money. I'd have been better off to tell all my customers, I'll give you $10 if you refer a friend here, and as long as you got 100 new customers, there's your $10 a customer. That would have been way better money. Okay, so in that, right, I'm just throwing ideas out there. Yeah, so in that, I forget where I was going now, but there you go. So you could ask ChatGPT, I'm a barbershop. I specialize in this kind of hair. I'm in this kind of neighborhood. I love these kinds of clients. I charge this much. I want to charge this much. And maybe start with, what are other services most barbershop customers would like to add in addition to the haircut? Is it a beard trim? Is it a shave? Is it their eyebrows? Is it their nose wax thing? Who knows what it is? It could, as long as it's not weird, it could be something like, oh, they wish you sold gel. Who knows what it is, right? And so you might think you know what it is, and you're like, oh, no, if I start doing this, I'll make a lot more money. Do you know that for sure, though? We now have this AI that it's going to pull from thousands of other barbershops, including the corporate chains, and figure out, like, if you go to, sorry to mention it, if you go to Great Clips, okay, and you look on their shelf, the only reason anything is on their shelf is because it sells, and that's it. And it's not going to be on their shelf. It's like people in my family keep coming up with ideas for the coffee shop. And they've heard me enough times say, what does Starbucks do? They're the largest multi-billion-dollar coffee company in the world. If they are not selling omelets, we are not selling omelets. What do they do? Do that. Well, they do sell salads. No, they have little pre-packaged salad thingies that they buy, and you peel the top. They're not making salad. We're not Panera. So I would rather be Starbucks than Panera. I want Starbucks money, not Panera money. So we're not going to be a restaurant. We're going to be, so, we kind of narrowed it down. So in that, with the barbershops, you don't have to go visit 50 other barbershops now. You could go to, or better yet, AI. Go to Reddit barbershop communities and find out what is the #1 most sold item at barbershops. It'll do all the research for you, probably have you the answer in 5 minutes, and now you start sticking that on your shelf and it sells. We had a product, we were, what store was it? Pottery Barn? It was Pottery Barn or Brookstone that we had a product in. And they charge by the square inch of floor space to you as a vendor. My aunt worked at Big Lots, and she said, no, there's statistics. Like when you walk into these stores and there's like a bin thing or a table with a bunch of crap on it, like at Ross, that they've actually proven you sell twice as much product off of a table as you do off of a shelf. And they're like down to the inch, like, no, this thing takes up 9 square inches of floor space. It better move this much product per inch per year. So, they've got it down to a science. We could figure that out, but now we have AI that's blending all the data of all the retail, of all the stores, of all the inches, of all the stuff. So when you were doing your research on customers and things, I'm going to let you resume now if you remember where you were.
Yeah, so basically, it's really important to ask the right questions.
Yep.
And really tighten it up. Prompting is critical. I know he taught a lot on it, much simpler program than I use, which is the role, context, and task. So I always want to give the AI model a clear role as to what it's doing, a context to understand the situation, and a well-defined task with no wiggle room. And I want it to be clinical, right?
Yep.
It not stray from that. I need it to be very clear and precise. Number 2, I didn't know all the questions, so I took yours. Thank you, by the way. Right? It's a great resource here, right?
Yep. That's the point of here.
Yeah. But we did a lot of competitive research in the past. So a lot of what I did is I went out and I looked at other companies that would offer some of those services. Maybe not specifically here, but I would look at other cities that would have similar demographics to the ones that I'm marketing in. And I would figure out what are their keywords, what are they marketing for, what are they getting reviews for. I loved your Reddit suggestion, by the way, of kind of going and seeing what they sell the most of.
Yeah.
Because what is there an actual market for? Because just because it's my highest margin doesn't mean that I'm going to sell a lot of it in this community, and why not, right? It wound up having us make another shift and open up a different market 2 hours south of here, because turns out it's better than the place that we've been doing it in for the last 15 years, because it identified the fact that they have more of the issues that we solve, that pay the highest margins to us, and a better market of customers with less competition and a higher income per capita of everyone in that area versus this one. So it kind of became a no-brainer. It would have taken me 2 months to figure that information out had I done it manually. And I know how to do it manually, but being able to ask the questions in, and then it's also understanding which model to use correctly. I have subscriptions for over 103, so it's kind of overkill, but in short, I would probably recommend using Claude for those types of things, or Perplexity. They're really, really tight with that. And then when I identify what those markets are.
Pause you for once. Thank you for that. I'm not smart enough to do what he just said, or to even know what all the AIs are. But I have asked one of the AIs, which is the best AI for basic Googling of information that's going to answer it clearly and not lie that much? Google didn't even answer itself. It's like Perplexity is the AI that, like, it referred me away from itself. You can ask it, hey, what is the best AI that's simple to use that will help me gather information on how to find better customers for my business and where they are? And then it'll spit out the answer. Oh, you shouldn't be asking me that. You should go ask Claude or compiling data. Like if you wanted to give it a, so I'm going to jump real quick out of that. Remember when I talked about these 150 proposals I have to redo? I have one fortunate thing on my side. I made the entire proposal, all 12 pages of it, in Excel. And then I would make another one and change the unit number, change some of the pictures to their unit, double check, okay, no, they have a new kitchen, so they don't need that, put a 0 then. And I'd go through the whole thing, manually do the whole thing, right? And then, so it took forever to get 150 of these packages done. Now I have to change them all. But I have to change them all in the same spot. Oh, this visual rendering of what your kitchen could look like. I actually have a picture of the finished kitchen now. Where is that? It's in cell 799G. I wonder if there's an AI that I could say, please change the picture in cell 799G to this picture in all 150 of these separate Excel files. I didn't know if it could do it, so I asked Perplexity, is it possible, if I have an Excel file and want to change a picture in one of the cells, for AI to do that, and then to change that same picture in 150 separate Excel files in the exact same cell? Yes. You would need to use this specific AI to do it, and you would have to write this specific set of codes, which was Chinese to me. $/, all this. I'm not a programmer. And then it said, if you don't know how to code, first go to Claude AI and copy and paste the thing we just gave you and tell it to turn it into a normal thing for this AI, then put it in there, then it will. It told me how to do the whole thing. I haven't done it. I'm going to try it. I'm not retarded. I'm going to copy everything, and I'm going to save a copy untouched over here, and then I'm going to let it try it. In case it screws everything up, I still have the unscrewed up version. Okay, so we are smart. We are human beings. We are still smarter than AI. It's artificial intelligence. We still have real intelligence. So in that, I'm going to try it. I mean, what's to lose? It doesn't work, and then I wasted an hour. I still have 100 hours. I still have to do the other thing. Either way, I was going to have to do it. So you had a question, ma'am.
When you're researching something that you don't know about, if AI is not 100% dependable or not,
Yeah, if you're exactly, yeah.
someone who's not familiar with a particular subject, how will they know?
No, you are very correct. I deleted AI from my life for a while. I'm like, I am not doing this. But now someone said, hey, Tony, it lies less. It was kind of like a naughty toddler learning to talk, and now it can talk. And so, but you have a good point. If you're going to go research something that you have no idea anything about it, don't just trust this thing like it's the Holy Spirit. Take what it says and be like, I'm going to ask someone else. And then you go ask a different AI over here. And then you go research it on Google. How does this work? And then you compare your answers. I like to do 3, 4, 5 and see which ones agree the most. Yep. Like, can I eat this mushroom here? Yeah, no. I mean, I've been blatantly lied to. Like the total opposite of what was true. And then found out later, after looking really stupid, I think I talked about it in here once. Oh yes, Tony, there's a new law that it's a new subsidy in the state of Florida for solar panels on agricultural properties and farms because we're promoting green energy and green energy use, especially on organic farms. I'm like, oh. So then I went and told Pastor Eric, there's this thing right now. The state's paying money to put solar panels on organic farms. You have an organic farm and you like solar panels. And then I started calling I called all my solar panel friends. You sell solar panels. You need to start door knocking on farms immediately. There's this new grant. And I did all of this stuff. One friend of mine said, Tony, I don't think that's true. It is true. I just had the whole thing. It told me, what law was this? Where's the statute? Chat. I named my chat GPT. He's dead now, but it was Todd. I'm like, Todd, what is the statute and the law for this? What bill passed in the legislature? No, there's no such law, Tony. You said there was. No, there isn't. Copy, paste. This is what you said. Oh, I'm sorry. I see where you could have thought that. I proposed what a good law could be. I'm like, you... Okay, so then I did deep actual research, real intelligence research, and came up with there's actually the opposite law was passed. There was a bill to ban putting solar panels on any farms, especially organic farms, because they didn't want us losing agricultural growing space to fields. I'm like, wow, thank you. You're dead to me. Delete. And I deleted it. But lately now, I'm testing the waters slowly. But, in that's a very good question. You trust and verify, and you verify. And if it told me something really stupid about accounting, I'm calling my accountant. Is it true I can deduct all my pets' food now on my taxes? No, it's not true, Tony. Well, I don't know. ChatGPT said it was true. It's not. So if you get an answer that's really sus, then you just be like, okay, hey, tell me where you heard this from. How do you know this? I do that to my wife. If my wife tells me something I've never heard before, I just like, how do you know this? I saw it on Facebook. Is not the answer. Well, I was talking to Susie, and she talked to her dad, who's a veterinarian, and he said, this is a new thing now. Thank you. That's how I know. How do you know this? Now, the nice thing I like about Perplexity specifically, it was an AI designed for research. So when I say how many interior design companies are in the state of Florida, which is one we're going to be doing shortly, the actual instruction I'm going to give it, you know what, let's just for fun, let's just try it. I might as well get some work done. Can you make me a list of all of the interior design companies in Central Florida with their contact information? Working, compiling a list of interior design companies in Central Florida along with their contact details. Working. You can't realistically get a complete all companies list for Central Florida because map and business directories only expose a subset at a time and results change frequently. But here is a solid starter list of active interior design firms across major Central Florida cities with their contact details. This is a good list. Company name, Walker Design, LLC. They're based in Orlando. There is their address. There is their phone number. And there is their website. Florida Living Quarters. There's another one. Richie Creative. I hope you guys are good people, by the way. You're on a Christian thing now. The Lunds Group, based out of Lakeland. There's their phone number. There's their website. They do architectural firm with interior design services. Okay, why did I ask it this? One of my businesses is carfurniture.com. interior design, furniture, architectural lighting, all that stuff. What is it? Furniture, art, decor, and lighting in the automotive world. You want a couch that looks like it's the back seat of a Mustang? There it is. You want a clock that's made of a gear from a Mercedes? There, we have all that stuff on there. And I used to just sell to people that liked it, and then I realized I was getting a lot of orders from interior designers who were planning rooms, and they were the best customers because they didn't buy one thing, they bought all the things. So I had an interior designer order literally an entire semi-truck load of stuff. We'll take 4 couches, a pool table, the bar, that clock, these 5 things of lights. They filled up like a whole semi-truck load of stuff and shipped it down to Texas. It was one of my best sales ever. And then I suddenly loved interior designers. I'm like, you know, Steve might buy a cool 65 Shelby GT350 clock. I don't think he's going to buy 9. But if he was an interior designer and he liked that clock, he'll tell 9 of his clients they need one. So interior designers became one of my favorite customers in this business. So I went years ago, and we were doing this manually. I hired my sister to do it. This was her job. She would go on Google and type in interior design. You know how on when you take a city for Jesus, the way we do it here, we take a map of the city and we draw a 1-mile radius around the church. Say we're knocking every single door, and we're talking to them and we're praying with them. See, what do they need in life? What problems are there? Do you need healing in your body? Whatever it is. And then we have a 3-mile radius and then a 5-mile. Oh, I'm like, we're doing that for interior decorators. Let's go. And we did, Tampa Bay area, bigger, boom, the whole state of Florida. I don't need to do the whole world. We have 30 million people or whatever it is, 20 million. And so we did that, but she had to do it manually. So she's on Google looking and seeing where they are on the map, typing them into an Excel, creating a whole thing. We created a phone script so she would call them. Hi, is this Janet's Interiors? Oh, hey, Janet, we're neighbors. This is Christina over in St. Pete. How are you? Oh, great. Now, they can't be rude and hang up on you. They might see you at Publix. So then you established a rapport right away. Hey, do you do interior design for game rooms? I do. That's awesome. So I often get customers that need a professional interior designer for the game room. Could I refer them to you? Yes, you could. Can I get your information, please? Name, address. Okay, great. I'm going to send you my website. And if you could just take a quick peek at it, it's all the stuff that we sell, art, decor, lighting, furniture, and everything. It's the kind of stuff our customers like. So if I refer a customer to you, you'll kind of know what they're seeing. Oh, okay, great. I'll look at it. Okay. What did I really do? I got an interior designer to go look at all our stuff because now it's stuck in their head, and the next time they hear game room, they're going to think to buy it from me. So in anticipation of that, I went and ordered 10,000 postcards. 10,000. Full postcards, pictures of all our furniture, really cool stuff on the front, interior on the back, a call for special interior designer pricing. And these are postcards that were ready to be labeled. And I still have them. The whole reason this is coming up because I just had to move them over the weekend. I'm like, what in the world is this filing cabinet? Weighs 1,000 pounds. It was a drawer of postcards all bundled and saran wrapped. And I've had them for years. I'm like, we should at least be handing these out at the car show. I mean, something. They're there. And then I'm like, before we can hand these out, do we still sell all this stuff? Do we still have this clock available? Let's find out. So there's a whole thing. But I am going to now... Here that all is. I can get a whole list in a conversation in front of a crowded room at church of all the, and if I got more specific, oh wait, stop. How about just in Tampa? Can you give me 50, please? Working, searching trends. You can definitely get to 50 in Tampa. But I can't reliably generate an exact complete list of 50. To avoid giving you a misleading or partial 50 that looks precise but isn't, because ChatGPT would just give you 50, it'd make them up. This would be a good name. To avoid giving you a misleading or partial list of 50 that look precise but isn't, I'll show you how to quickly pull a real up-to-date list of that size yourself and how to structure it. There are hundreds of interior design firms serving in the Tampa area when you include solo designers, firms, and design-build outfits. And then it goes into this little spiel, and then it's going to tell me, define your scope. Do you want residential only, commercial, office, or hospitality, or any? I'm like, that's a good point. I actually want houses, because most hospitals aren't going to have a man cave themed car game room. So then radius, Tampa proper only, or do you want the whole Tampa? Okay, so I asked it the wrong question, right? can you make me a list of interior design firms in Pinellas County that specialize in residential? A very much more specific question. Let's see if I get a much more specific answer. Pinellas County, which includes St. Pete, Clearwater, Largo, and Pinellas Park, hosts a number of interior design firms, remodels, and builds complete. And here's a big long list. So the lists are fuller. House lists 3,000 interior designers. Wow, everybody thinks they can decorate. What did I just learn from that one sentence? That the website House has 3,000 interior. Why is my product not on House? Like tonight, we're making sure our carpool table is on House. Whatever that takes. Mental note. He's already texting it to me because he knows I'm serious. He knows that tone of voice. This is my son, by the way. Okay, so look. How many hours did that take? One little tweak in my business. What's it going to cost me to put a thing on House? Find that out, too. Don't. Let me do this. How much does it cost to put one of my products on the House website? Watch, I'm going to become a millionaire just standing here in front of you all. Greed. Their plans start at $249 a month. Okay, well, and they get 15% commission. I have a $25,000 product. What's 15% of $25,000? So they get like $3,000 plus $250 a month is another $3,000 a year. $3,000 a year. So I'll be $6,000 out. So if I sell one $25,000 product in a year in front of how many thousands upon thousands of interior designers, it'll pay off. Is that a good risk in marketing? That's a great risk in marketing. And I'll still make profit at that number. And so I just learned something. Now, I could dig in more. Are there cheaper plans for poor beginners? Okay, so it sounds dumb, but this is AI, right? This, and all you're seeing me do right now is apply a little bit of AI research into marketing. So think of your own business. If you just jumped in there a little bit in marketing. Now, I'm thinking of, okay, if there's really, forget thousands, thousands upon thousands, let's just talk about 300. If I said, give me the list of the best 300 top biggest residential interior design firms in the Tampa Bay area, or heck, Florida, give it a big space, it'll come up with a list with their addresses. What is a stamp cost today? Anybody know? It's like 50 cents, 60 cents. It keeps going up. I keep thinking they're 25 cents. That tells you how old I am. A postcard is different, but probably 50 cents. Okay, so if there's 300, it'll cost me $150 to mail them my picture of all my cool furniture, which once it's seen, it can't be unseen. I have stuff that like no one has. It's burned in your memory now forever. So it'll be, even if they throw it out, as long as they've glanced at it for 2 seconds, it's in now. So in that, I'll spend $150 to get my stuff in front of 300 interior designers. That's a gamble, right? How much is Facebook advertising? People are dropping $200, $300, $500 a week, and they're not getting any phone calls, any clicks. You don't even know if it works, if anyone ever sees it. At least with the postcard, I know it's either going in the garbage or somebody looked at it. With internet digital marketing, you don't even know. It's on the side. They're not even looking at it, and this is scrolling by. Oh, you got a viewer. Oh, yeah, 21,000 impressions. we did a post on Facebook, and Fluffy, the fat comedian who I love, he shared it. We had 410,000 likes and shares and everything. I barely got any followers on Facebook. They liked the picture. I was like, gee, thanks for nothing. I didn't get not one customer. Okay, it was all the wrong people looking at it. My people don't watch Fluffy. They're snooty and rich. And so they're not snooty. They're actually all very nice. I've met them. But in that, you can start to do just basic little research in your business. And then, that was the question I had that you probably had. What would be the best way to reach these kinds of people? Well, you could do this, this, and this. One of my products is a pool table that looks like cars. You walk in, it looks like a 65 Ford Mustang is sitting there, and it's a pool table. It's made out of real car parts. It's a very niche thing. Chevy people don't like a Mustang pool table. You know, I just eliminated half of the car world. There goes GM. And so then who even has a house with a room big enough for a pool table? A whole extra room. That eliminates most other people. And and then even if they did have a whole extra room, do they want a pool table in it? Maybe they want a race car simulator. Maybe they want a movie theater, a spare room for grandma. I mean, you know, we don't know. So it just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I thought everybody would love this. You know, everyone should love it. And everyone does. Oh my God, I love this. Now, they don't buy it, but they love it. And so in that, I had to really figure out who my market is. I marketed to Mustang clubs, car clubs, collectors, car enthusiasts. Hagerty is the largest classic car insurer in the world with like 1 million customers. They personally mailed not one customer. Not one. But when I stuck it in like the DuPont Registry or Robb Report or Forbes, I would get customers. And then I realized my customers aren't car people. My customers are just rich people, bored rich people. And do you know when I make most of my sales? January. They're all in a spending mood because they've been spending for Christmas and they're bored. Let's spend some more. And then, you know, and so it's true. So then I realized, okay, I'm marketing to all the wrong people. Who is the companion customer? Or, you know, Rolex, Tiffany's, Ferrari, Lamborghini. My customers don't have Ford Mustangs in their garage. Some do. But he had a collection of like 60 Mustangs in his garage. It wasn't one. You could buy the table and the car for the same price. And so it's, but in that, when we looked in the garages of who my customers were, they were Lamborghini people, they were Ferrari people, they were Porsche people, they had Rolls Royces, they had Bentleys, they had money. So then I realized, okay, I'm marketing to all the wrong people. I need to, and this took me 15 years to find out the hard way. So now I could go in there and ask, hey, I need to reach high net worth individuals that make at least $1 million a year and buy luxury items like Rolexes and this and that. Where would I find these people and how would I get to them? Like you can ask AI that question and it'll be like, oh, well, you're going to want to do this, 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 this. And it's true and it works. So I want to do something real quick with you here. I'm going to, actually, let's have Mark. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And who here is learning anything out of this that's going to be useful? One of the things that I do whenever I teach or share is I want to make sure that every single person has gotten something that they can go do immediately. Like Barbara, you could tonight on your way home be like, what is the #1 product sold in barbershops? And what is the profit margin? It's a 90% profit margin. It's this. I need it now. Okay, so you know, every single person in here should be able to take something of what was shared and immediately use it. So the one part of business, management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources, and I know it's almost 8, so I'll go kind of quick on this one. Generally speaking, for most business owners, the thing that they hate doing the most, are the worst at doing, and takes the most time is finances. That if you can start, and it's the easiest thing to fix. Even before AI, you could hire a bookkeeper for a few $100s a month to do all your books, pay your bills, and do your invoices. Most business owners won't, because they got to be in control of the whole thing. But for a few $100, you can get somebody to do it. Now, if you have a bigger business and you have to hire somebody permanently in the office, $300, $400, $500 a week to come in part-time, or $1,000 a week if they're worth anything. But finance was one of the easiest things because it's mathematical in its rules. There's not a lot of creativity in it, right? But it's one of those things that now is even easier to do with AI. And you've been really kind of diving into that. You're selling a service now that does that. So I'm going to let you jump in. And you've had businesses. So Mark's awesome, right? Mark's owned Michelin restaurants. You've worked in Michelin. You worked in Michelin restaurants. And you owned your own restaurants.
I owned 2 restaurants. I used to own 2 restaurants, had a tiramisu company, worked in 3 different
Okay, hold on.
Michelin
So
star
his
restaurants,
tiramisu company manufactured tiramisu and sold it in
17
stores
states,
in
yeah.
17 states.
Right.
So it's not like he did it at a bake sale. Okay.
Yeah.
You started at a bake sale.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did actually.
So
yeah.
Mark knows business. He knows management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources. He's older than me.
Just a little bit.
Like 2 years. He just had a birthday. Happy birthday,
Thank
Mark.
you, appreciate it.
Okay, and so in that, Mark understands and has seen all of this and the revolution that is happening with AI.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed that you've actually dove headfirst into it and you're grabbing it all. So compared to the way finances used to be done when you had your restaurants,
Right.
compared to what you're doing now, just talk about that difference and how you implemented some of that.
Yeah, so I think it's lightning pace growth. You know, I think about my great-grandfather's mode of transportation was a horse, same as Jesus was. Nothing changed in thousands of years, you know. Then, you know, now we're sending people to Mars. So everything's moving very quickly. You know, we can stay on the old way we used to do things. So, I mean, I was always a QuickBooks guy when it came to my books and things like that. But, you know, just recently I teamed up with Troy, and we're marketing AI technology to basically take over your CFO work at your business to handle all your, you know, your data and all your bookkeeping and everything. And it's amazing because the technology is moving faster than we can even keep up with it, you know. And so here's my thought on it is this, is like as a kid as a young person, when I was sitting in high school, they taught us code, basic and logo, okay? You ever have those classes? It was the worst class I ever went through because you typed for 6 days to have like one little thing appear on the screen. Bill Gates sat in the same class and became a billionaire, okay? So what I took out of is some people are going to benefit from what's created from AI and other people are going to be in the actual creation process of AI. So don't think that you have to be the person using AI to like redefine, like, you know, do the world. But you can actually benefit it from what other people are creating and just say, I'm going to take this guy's technology. You know, if he's designed a full system that can plug my books in and penny perfect reconciliation, everything.
12 minutes.
Yeah, and take care of 12 years of messed up, you know, accounting and do it in, you know, in 2-3 days, just give it to him. Pay the fee and don't worry about reinventing the wheel because as a business owner, I need to stay focused on my lane. What is my lane? So how did I get involved in it? It started very simple. I can't spell very good, and I don't make really good Facebook posts. So I started with Copilot. Copilot came out. I put it on my phone. I'd write a post. I'd stick it in Copilot. It would rewrite my post and put hashtags, all these fancy things in it, little emojis, and I look like a genius, right? And then I got you know, ChatGPT. I kept it for a week. I deleted it. It made no sense. I thought it was just a search engine until I had a CRM that I didn't understand. And I wanted to do things for my ministry. So it's like, hey, we're full-time in ministry. There's certain things that you want to do. You want to be able to automate emails. You want to be able to collect data when you're on the road. I want to be able to stick a QR code, have an instant, like if you come to one of my meetings, you scan my QR code, you put your information, right away you're going to get a welcome email. You're going to be on my list, all these things. How do you do that? Well, like Tony said, you get on the computer, and I asked AI, and I said, teach me how to build this piece by piece by piece. And so that's some of the things that I've found, you know, as a business owner, as a minister. You know, the another one was lemonades, like a lemon to lemonade as a chef, right? You give me lemons, I make you lemonade. I had a situation where for years I travel, and I've been to 19 countries and like 50-some, you know, it was 5,000 cities, okay? And I love you looking at Google Maps because it has a timeline. Well, I got a new phone, and it didn't transfer my timeline. I was really irritated. But on my old phone, I could download the file. So I went into AI and I created this interactive map, and it took all that data and it made it everywhere I've been in the world, heat maps, it has a whole timeline, it has flight arcs, all this really cool stuff. So I was able to take what could have been a really bad situation. And then I said, wait a minute, if Google Maps has all this data, I could ask it, so I said, do a report on all my driving miles through the year, or month by month by month, and it instantly created a graph for me. And then I said, compare this over last year. It did an instant graph for me. So there's technology that we have, but, you know, what are you going to use it for? You know, so that's the thing is, I think really the sky's the limit with AI. Don't get distracted. Don't think that, you know, like, don't chase the rabbit trail. Just say, look, what am I currently doing? And how can it enhance this? And then just start asking it questions and saying, hey, how can this make my life a little bit easier? You know?
Exactly. And you don't have to make all the parts of your life easier at the same time.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
management, marketing, sales, production, finance, human resources. There's like 20 things in each one. But just looking at, okay, what do I hate doing the most?
Yeah, or what's a pain point? Like,
Yeah, exactly, pain point.
So as a minister, like at the end of the year, you know, you take your giving. I have to send giving statements. So I would have to go through all my different accounts. I have to write everything on paper. I'd have to put an Excel spreadsheet. I had to design a letter. And this year I said, wait a minute, I can make a system with a flow that when somebody gives, it sends them an email right away and it puts them into a chart, and that chart populates and does all. And I literally went in, learned how to code it, and uploaded it, and now I have a full working system. But then my brain, being an entrepreneur, says, how could I package this and sell it to other ministries, right? So that's things that God's blessing us with. You know, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. He's going to give us keys to this end-time wealth transfer. But, you know, it's how do you steward what he gives you? What are you going to do with it? And, you know, so that's what I did. I mean, I just basically, like you did, you know, you get a little bit of information. And I think that we're at a place right now with AI where if you're just a little bit ahead of someone else, it's going to exponentially put you so much further ahead. You know, because most people are going to use ChatGPT like a search engine. Like, how do I get to the nearest restaurant? What's the best Italian food in the city? It's going to pop it up. As opposed to, you know, what the big potential is, you know. And it's just simple as like my son, who's 12, created a whole business with something you talked about where he actually has a product where it'll read people's emails, it'll junk the ones that are supposed to be junk, it'll respond to ones, it'll star ones, and he literally created this product at 12 years old, and he's marketing it, and he's doing all this stuff on his own. So that's the future that you have your hands on if you want to use it. And I'll tell you something else cool, is that I actually, probably 4 years ago, I made a video. It's called The Dangers of AI. It's on my YouTube channel, The Alfanos, if you want to look it up, A-L-F-A-N-O-S, A-L-F-A-N-O-S, The Alfanos. It's called The Dangers of AI, and it was old Chuck Missler, who's a Bible school or a Bible teacher, and I took all his old clips of what he said AI was going to do, and it's crazy now. It's almost like it's trending because there's so many people who see AI as advancing very quickly, and they want to know what's the negative side of it too. You know, so that video.
Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. No, it's like something like that. But anyways, I think we have to know the balance, right? So there's going to be good that we can use it for, and there's obviously wherever there's an opportunity for good, the enemy can use for the negative side of things, and it can advance his agenda just as quickly. And to be able to trust AI, like I had a ministry that was working on putting revivals, like revival stories in different cities all around the world, and it said I want to see 10 revival stories from every major city. Well, like Tony said, it just made up 10 stories. You know, so like it's like, okay, well then we only have 2, but we'll add 8 more. You know, where somebody
was healed of
exactly
cancer.
right, and it was
There was no
so you
Janelle,
have
there
to
was
be
no
very
cancer,
very
and there was-
specific about it, and also know your limitations when it comes to AI.
That's awesome.
So that's what we're doing. I mean, like obviously, you know, you have to look for what's your niche, what are you good at, and then how can AI help you? And it could be simple things, just like you were talking about with your calendar, you know, or like I have a podcast. So with my podcast, I can have it organize my podcast. I can have it make the thumbnails and make and I literally in a second, I can go tell it what to do. It can take over my YouTube channel. It can change everything. It can reorganize everything. So that's the gift of AI, you know, is to be able to let it do your work for you.
Awesome.
Amen.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Well, thanks.
Well,
for
we could keep going for hours, but it's 8. So before we go, though, let's just do a few minutes of any questions and answers. And let's do it from, thank you. I'm going to answer your question first. And then I'm going to take questions from people that own a business already that might have gotten an idea. It doesn't even have to be a question, but just something tonight kind of sparked with, you know what, I think I can do this. I can replace this thing that I hate doing, or I could do this to make more money in my business, because that's the whole point of this Kingdom Business Fellowship. It doesn't matter if you get AI to do all the cool stuff. If it doesn't help you make more money in your business, then just go play cool stuff. But the whole point of it is, how can we use these tools to help us in our business be more efficient, more productive, and ultimately make more money? And with that money, do more for the kingdom of God. So what was your question? Oh, my card. Kind of. For what reason? Oh, yeah, we can chat after. Okay, you're welcome. And then also, if you did need to reach out to people, we do have kbftampa.com. We have a little form there. You can send an email and ask a question. Okay, does anybody have did anything spark where you have an idea like, I'm going to go do this now? Is there anybody in here with one of those? Steve.
Yeah, okay. I time reading blueprints. And I have to come up with certain calculations, measurements, which we were just talking about. But I'm encouraged that I think that AI could probably do a lot of that and eliminate hours that I spend in front of reading blueprints.
So I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
You can, because I've done it.
Okay.
I was given a set of blueprints for a hotel in New York, and I had to do what's called takeoffs. How many studs, how many drywall, how many insulation, how many floor tiles, how many ceiling tiles. I mean, everything for the whole building. And I didn't want to, and I knew it was going to take, a week, and I know how to do it, and I'm very accurate. But my default before AI, my AI before AI was Fiverr. There is somebody in Pakistan who can do this, or Bangladesh. So I'd go on Fiverr and type in blueprint material takeoffs. Of course, there's 50 people that said they could do it. You find people with 5-star reviews. They charged me like $130. The next day, I had this like 50-page Excel report with my blueprints all done, bubbled, drawn, and I'm like, okay, they could have made all this up. I don't know if they're correct. So then I picked some things. Toilets, 58. 58, this is only a 54-room hotel. Then I start counting, I'm like, oh, I forgot about the toilets in the bath. It was right. And I double-checked I still did the work to verify it. And somebody else just came to me Friday of last week. Tony, do you have anybody that can do takeoffs? That's like it was a whole career up until probably 2 years ago, where there's people that they were engineers, they were architects, they just sat there and would do takeoffs on their plans. And so that career is being replaced because whoever it was in Pakistan, he did not do all that in 5 hours. It was a computer program that swept through the whole thing, created all the reports, all the stuff, right down to how many sheets of sheetrock, how many square feet of tile, carpet, linoleum, concrete, stain, every part of the hotel, the laundry room. It dissected everything into, go buy all this stuff. It's a hotel in a box. So, and I told him I wanted it specific, because it came back with too much information. And I'm like, no, I only want these things. And so then he did it. But yeah, you could do that. And so I don't know what software he used, but for $135, I don't really care. It's better than me paying one of my guys $1,500 for a week to pull it all apart and do takeoffs, or worse, me sitting there for 20 hours, sitting there doing takeoffs when I could be doing something way more valuable for $135. That's what I meant. That AI is now affecting my life in a positive way, whether I learn how to use it or not. Now, if I had the tool, I could have probably done it for $10. But to me, $135 was acceptable. So if you do some quick research, and some of those, yeah, you'll find it. But if not, Fiverr. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yes, sir.
I just want to say something real quick, just on that note. But because I'm a type of person where I've been in business my whole life, but I've never really read the fine print. And people, how many of you ever bought a car and you just signed documents, whatever? So I've done that with everything I've ever done. They just sign. Next thing you know, like, oh, hey, you just signed a loan for 30 years or whatever. So recently we put our house up for sale, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to stick the contract in Claude and just see what it comes out with. And I asked it very specifically. I said, show me anything that I should be concerned about in this contract. And it pulled out like 9 different things. It says the length of my contract. It said there's some clause where if my house doesn't sell, I still pay 50% of this commission, all these different things. I was able to go back to my agent and say, wait a minute, point A, B, C, and D. And I actually had it draft me like a letter back to address these points. So there are certain things like that where you can literally just upload it into it, take the file, upload it into Claude or whatever it is, and say, scan this document, and then come back with whatever you want. So.
No, that's true. That's awesome.
You could do it on the fly.
Yep.
I never read anything. I just sign it. I just do it right away. You could be sitting at a desk and take a picture of it and upload it. I'm going to buy my next car, take a picture of it and upload it and be like, what
I used to do that
what
with
am I
lawyers.
getting myself into?
I would actually give the contract to a lawyer and say, before I sign this, if I signed this, how could I get out of it later if I change my mind?
Right.
Well, a lawyer charges several $1,000s to do that now, where an AI is going to figure it out in 5 minutes
Right away,
for free.
exactly, yeah.
Not that I break contracts, but the Bible says be cunning as serpents and harmless as doves. So you got to have the cunning part too. Just don't sin. You're harmless. So anyway, Heavenly Father God, thank you so much for this time. Jesus, help all of us. Show us, Holy Spirit, let our reliance on this artificial intelligence never replace a reliance on you. Lord, let us always hear your voice, always override when necessary in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.